Hail adventurers! Pwn Star here with Pwn Star Gaming. Guys, how are you today? Today's video is going to be the first of a new series called the Dungeon Lore series. This series is going to be all about the lore of the dungeon and maybe some of the different monsters that are in the dungeon while we kind of sneak around the dungeon and see what's all there. I'm really excited about this as it has been requested for quite some time. And if you guys end up liking it, make sure and hit that like button and subscribe, as we do have a goal for 2,000 subscribers. And make sure and catch me on the live streams every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, guys, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about Nucero. Somewhere around 12 AC, it is said a large landmass came from the sea near the west coast of the mainland. It is rumored it came from another shard entirely, as it contained members of the Knights Guild and a castle they were building. Over the course of the cataclysmic century, which was between 0 and 140 AC, the wayward knights disappeared and their castle slowly sank into the earth, and we now call this place the Dungeon of Nusero. In 612 AC, members of the Knights Guild emerge in Avedon from another shard in search of their missing brethren, unbeknownst to them that the passage of time is different between Avedon and their home world, and 600 years have passed. They establish a large base of operations near Nucero Dungeon and uncover a dig site suggesting evidence of their long-lost brothers and history. Through conquest and glory, we've been able to establish research materials that have been deciphered into 10 pages, now known as the Tales of Nucero. And this is what we found. The chief architect of the project has ordered us to carry out our duty, regardless of the situation. Nobody knows where we are still or how we even got to this strange island. But it doesn't matter right now. We have our orders. The earth here seems tilled, and the entire face of the land seems to be scarred and moved. Something had happened here not long ago. Something cataclysmic. Construction begins tomorrow. Progress is moving along well at the construction site. A quarry has been set up in the nearby mountain. The castle's first stone is placed. But still, we're stranded here now and not sure where we are, as the maps we have do not show this island or volcano to even exist. Knights are not shipbuilders, but stonemasons and carpenters. We have enough resources available to survive and carry out our orders. Maybe this is the right island. The castle is well on its way to completion, and we've begun excavating deeper below the reach of this fortress under the earth. Our surveyors believe it to be a safe place should the nearby volcano erupt and our knights need to take cover. Virtues bless us. Outside of the castle's construction site, other knights have taken up the task of teaching themselves how to build ships by trial and error. We need to find out where we are. We must inform the commander. The castle is complete, and a glorious statue of a knight has been placed in the courtyard to commemorate our order. Construction below the castle, however, seems unending. Endless amounts of stone are transported to the castle from the quarry as catacombs stretch deeper, expanding the castle's dungeon evermore. Our knights have nearly mastered the art of shipbuilding and will soon set sail to find the mainland and inform the commander of our status. Virtues bless them. Avium. It has been weeks since our knights have set sail to seek mainland and inform the commander of both this strange island not located on any map and our progress while marooned on this lush rock. In other efforts, magic has been a recent study to use crystals as a form of communication with the mage councils back on mainland. Progress has only begun in this regard, but I do hope it works as we watch the horizon daily for ships to return. I pray they return with good news. Finally, the ships returned, but lo, it was with grave news. It appears we are not in the realm of Sosare any longer, but now in a place called Avedon. We have no choice but to settle. More ships were built, and more knights set out to learn as much as they could about this world. Others set out to find proper guardians of this great castle and its catacombs. The rest of us begin to farm the land, and some sail to settle on mainland. We must inform the commander. Months of attempting to contact the mage councils of Sosaria via the communication crystals seems to grow more futile every day. Some strange magic over this realm seems to be blocking our efforts. But lo, ships return with information and mighty dragons tamed by the bravest of our knights to guard our castle walls and dungeon depths. We have learned to grow crops and families as well. This is our home now. One of our excavators in the castle catacombs have unearthed a strange stone that seems to hold a magic energy within it. Our knights tried to use it to contact our homeworld, but I fear instead they contacted someone or something else. We should be careful of such things when we know so little of this world and its magic. There are strange tales our knights share from the mainland, and shattered history that they stem from. Who knows who might be listening? Something is wrong. Our officers grow more interested in the power of the dragons that were brought here to guard this massive castle. They have begun practicing strange magic with the dragons and do not come out of the catacombs for days. Our men grow worried as our superiors do not seem themselves and pay little attention to the daily disciplines of knighthood and virtuism. It all began when we tried to contact our home with that shard. Who did we really contact? It's too late. The dragons that were to guard this castle have turned on us. Those who survived the horrific sight have fled from the island to the mainland. There is no choice for the rest of us trapped below the castle between the salvation and death within the dragon's maw. Damn the evil that was released when we found that strange stone shard below the castle. May the virtues forgive us for whatever we have released. This is our last stand. For Nucero Castle! Huzzah! Alas, the fight for Nucero Castle did not go so well. Those that survived fled to the mainland. Meanwhile, Nucero Dungeon grew in its ranks and became home to many strong enemies. More powerful the deeper into the catacombs you dare set foot. Through time and research and yet again, conquest and glory, 15 creatures have been studied and written about and now can be read about in the book of lore called Creatures of Nucero. Primordial. This two-legged reptile sports several large and sharp talons on both of its strong lower legs. Despite its fearsome appearance, it will prefer eating bugs, worms, and small rock snakes that it digs out from the porous limestone. Often viewed by the less scholarly as precursors to the magnificent dragons, the Primordial is in fact unrelated and is closer in lineage to toads and other bug-eaters. The Monitor. A reptile that is slow and lazy, a bland gray color taken from the soft rocks which they churn in their large mouths all day. It prefers to stay areas close to still water, required for the maturation of their hatchlings into adult monitors. Its weak and blunt fangs can prove a nuisance for the curious observer. However, the Monitor is not known to hunt for meat. Stone Scale Tribal. These reptiloid creatures skulk around upright on their two legs, their forked tongue able to produce not more than unintelligible hiss, surely meaningless even to themselves, such as they are often heard hissing in the dark whilst all alone, as if rambling mad if such a thing were possible from beasts. They lack the finesse of an animal and the intelligence of a man. An abomination in the true sense of quite possibly an accident magical in nature long ago. The Chameleon. The masters of camouflage are not the same as the slow and colorful dim-witted things that your aunt used to keep for pets. These creatures are formidable stealthers that with not even a sound and not a movement in the air will wander far and wide in search of their ill-fated prey. They rarely even draw breath, and they are entirely cold-blooded, never seeking warmth or light. After weeks of observing, I'm still not sure if they are real. Army Ant. These minions of hive mind can be found crawling over a mound of minced rock and dirt. There's something particularly frightening about mindless insects with a lust for blood. I observed that they will not find you objectionable if you are coated in the soot from the ember drakes. For what purpose, I do not know. However, from the tiny openings in the mound, one can feel warm airflow. I suspect a queen in the depths of fiery nature. The asp, as any herpetologist worth their salt would say, a sufficiently poisonous snake has a place in any ecosystem. To no surprise, then, one can find these delicate slithering asps in the dark of the dungeon. I was not able to witness at first hand the strength of their venom. However, to make their home here, it must be something extraordinary. Ophidian Dragon Guard. These slithering monstrosities tower high above a normal man. I found after careful work with a blade that their armor was just a metallic inclusion in their otherwise leathery skin. Inside of the cartilage skull, I found something vaguely resembling a brain. My hand was stayed further, however, due to the stench of reptilian magic. Surely a cursed tether of some kind, enslaved by the dragons to do their bidding in life, and apparently after death. The Wyvern Hatchling. These wondrous beings of the most exquisite emerald green entranced me to such a degree that I almost forgot the dangerous situation I was in. They appear not to be dragons, and I sense nothing magic or ancient about them. They lack wings for flight and seem fully committed to a life in caves. The acid breath of the adult variant soured the air and burned my 9 o'clock shade right off my cheeks from far away. The Flame Purger. This leathery bag of volatile fuels I regard as an anomaly of nature. It appears to me that the word self-combustion was invented for this very beast. However, it seems not to explode, not even as the sharp prick of a heavy bolt releases the pressurized gases from its guts. After spewing its fiery contents, you will find it a folded mess of oily skin over sharp bones before it bloats once more, and by that time, I would make sure to not be anywhere close. Eldritch Dragon. I regard these fantastical beasts with great veneration. Their wings, when fully extended, will make any man impressed. Their skin was sizzling with purple and wondrous patterns. They appeared intelligent, inhabiting ancient ruins in the depths of the dungeon. Perhaps their affinity to magic drawing them like moths to a flame. They were calling forth powerful magic between one another as a game. These beasts would have been the marvel of any royal court. The Ember Dragon. Unaffected by the great lava waterfalls that light up the darkness of the depths, these Ember Dragons do not seem to have any interest for anything other than destruction and chaos. In their eyes, I saw nothing of the curiosity that marks the other magical reptilians. Like so many beings of fire, they seemed to have been born from the infernal depths below and had no interest in the cold world to which they had been delivered. The Burning Ash Tree. No different than other evil trees in the world, this ancient and gnarled guardian grew a conflux of magical energies of both life and destruction. I observed this at first hand as the seeds on bread which I had sought suddenly sprouted and set fire to my cloak. With my quick wit, I threw the cloth away, and soon small plants started to rise, surely within years to be the scourge of those who would pass there after me. The Smoke Dragon. A mystical beast seldom spoken of for the fear of drawing its ire. Unfounded superstitions, of course, but one cannot deny that there are reasons to be afraid of the dark. The slight scent of burned coal will alert the observant fool that they are in the presence of a smoke dragon. These reptilians do not use magic, but seem to have mastered the natural aspects of the shadows. As always, We have much to learn from the dragons. Like any other dungeon, there seems to be two creatures that inhabit that are some sort of commanding officers, if these beasts have such a order of ranks. I believe there to be more deeper in the dungeon, but for the truth of it, we haven't investigated that far down yet. The first of which is the pit dragon. The mighty dragon of the pit is kept in constant darkness in its own cave and only unleashed when called upon by its master. The pit dragon, whose original dragon aspect has been lost to time, was once rattled by chaos sorcery, dulling its intelligence to such a degree that it is barely more sentient than the average asp. However, with the loss of its higher functions, only the primal rage remained, and its magical powers grew to grotesque and violent proportions in the vacant room of its mind. And the Emperor Dragon. A favorite story of many common folks is that of the ancient order of dragon lords, who were the kings of men before written history was recorded. The story tells of the Emperor Dragon who resided in a magma chamber deep beneath the crust of the earth. Anyone could seek an audience and have his or her worth tested. There were two outcomes. Either they were burned to ashes, or they emerged with a golden crown atop their head, and with the ability to wield many new found powers. And there you have it, folks. The first of hopefully many of the dungeon series for lore. I think it is a lot of fun personally. I hope you guys found it interesting. Make sure and hit that like button. And also, big kudos to Eric Gray for putting together a lot of the lore and also Sir from the Knights Guild. I found a ton, and I mean a ton of information and history about where the Knights Guild came from, and also the lore that went into Nucero dungeon based on that guild alone. There is so much more information, and I didn't even scrape the surface of it all. I hope you guys found this interesting. Make sure and like this video, comment below a video suggestion for next week, and maybe just a video suggestion for the next dungeon lore series. You could win up to 100,000 gold, and speaking of that, let's jump into this raffle. Alright guys, and here we are. I've got a list of everybody that commented below a video suggestion for this week for their chance to get 100,000 gold. Let's go ahead and spin it and see who's going to win. Kitmetkaz. I think I said that right. Kitmetkaz. Congratulations, man. Let's see how much money you're going to win. Already in here we have anywhere from 1 to 100. Let's go. Big money, 72,000 gold. All right, congratulations. Hey, congratulations. All you got to do is just message me on Discord and I'll gladly meet you in shelter with your check for 72,000 gold. Congratulations. Other than that, guys, thank you to the Patreons, the channel members, everybody that is in the Pwn Start Gaming Discord that talks and keeps me entertained while I'm at work. And heck yeah, guys, really do appreciate the community that we've built on our live streams every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And that brings us to the beer of the day. Guys, I tried to find some kind of history on these guys, but literally I'll read it right from the website when you click on our story. It says, White Claw Hard Seltzer is your open invitation to escape to pure enjoyment, whatever that means for you. Made simple because fun always is. When the question is, should we? Say let's. So, since there ain't no since there ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, I figured I wouldn't even pour it in there. And we'd just go straight from the can like old school. Also, I thought it was fitting, White Claw, being that there's lots of claws in Nucero. Yeah, cheesy, whatever. Anyways, Skull. Definitely not the first time I've had a White Claw. It's tasty. Not much else to say about it. Other than that, guys, Bone Star Gaming out.